It's Halloween time again, which means that you and I are going to be spending all month learning tunes from classic horror movies. Let's start off with one of my all-time favorites, the theme from Clive Barker's Hellraiser. Ooh. Hello kids, and welcome to the first episode in this year's spooktacular series of Weekend Wankshop. Here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Now some of you guys may remember last year whenever we learned the themes from Halloween, The Addams Family, Friday the 13th, and The Exorcist. I sure do loves me some scary movies. It goes without saying that one of the all-time best horror flicks is Clive Barker's Hellraiser, which came out a really long time ago but still holds up as one of the most warped and twisted horror movies I think I've ever seen. I went on this huge spree last Halloween where I watched every single installment of the Hellraiser series. And Hellraiser 1 and 2 are absolutely fantastic. The other ones, not so much. One of my favorite parts of the original movie is the super cool orchestral theme, which I think is really recognizable and unique, really haunting sounding. There's some really dense harmonies and stuff going on in that string section, but I've tried to simplify them down to where they'll work on a good old 6-string grandpa guitar here. But before we start digging into it, let's hear it again at Cenobite speed. And as always, you can find a full tab of terror for this week's lick over on my Instagram page, so be sure to go over to Instagram. Look for BenEllerGuitars, learn how to play this week's lick, and then upload a video of yourself playing through it along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. First things first, let's talk about the tuning. To play this in the original key, you'll need to tune your guitar to drop D flat. That's like tuning your guitar down a half step and doing drop D tuning on top of that. So you end up with D flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. So the first thing that you hear is this constant bass pedal theme that goes through the entire piece. Now to achieve this, the thumb is just basically bouncing in between the low E string and the D string, or D flat and D flat as the case may be, whatever, I'm just going to call them what they are. So the low E string to the D string. Now this is going in a pattern of eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Starts off with 2 measures of this, 7 and 8 and. Just like that, just kind of introducing that theme of those octaves. The thumb is going to only be doing those octaves the entire song, so get used to bouncing between those 2 strings like that and going on autopilot. Now the reason I point out the 8th note thing is because there's a lot of these melody notes that will come in on the and, 1 and 2 and, like on those right there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So a lot of this is kind of syncopated where some of the melody will fall not on the downbeat, in other words the low E string, but on the upbeat, in other words the D string. So get used to coming in on a lot of these melodies on the upbeat. Pay really close attention to the tab. It'll really help you see where those things are falling. So after that 2-measure long intro, we're going to introduce the other thing that runs through this whole tune, which is playing these 2-note groupings on the G and B strings, so strings 3 and 2. And we're going to be plucking those with our first 2 fingers over here on the right hand. Again, the thumb is down here doing his thing. These 2 fingers are handling the notes on the G and B strings for the rest of the tune. So first thing that you're going to do over here is to put your fingers onto the 2nd fret G and 3rd fret B. That's your first pair of kind of double stops over here. Pluck those with the low E string at the same time. Then hit D, then E. Next what you're going to do is to come up here and play the 7 on the G and 6 on the B, along with the D string. And then after this you're going to come down to the 4th G and 5th B with the low E string. So that move was... After this, D, E, D, E. D, E, D, E. After this, whenever you hit the D string again, you're going to play back at that first position here, so the 2 and 3. E. Up to that next position that we had here, the 7 and 6 with the D string open. Low E string with the 4 and the 5 over here. D, E, D. So now we got this. So after that, you're going to end up playing the D string open along with this position, which is 7th G, 6th B. Then you're going to play the low E string along with 7th G, 8th B. So that was D, E. Then you come up to this high position right here, 12th G, 11th B, along with the D string. Next you're going to play 9th and 10th, 9th G, 10th B, along with the open low E string. So that was D, E, D, E. So that whole thing was... After this, we're going to end up hitting the D string along with our 7 and 8 over here. E. D string along with your 12 and 11. Low E string along with the 9 and 10. D, E. So that whole thing was... Following that, we're going to be hitting the D string along with 7 and 6. Then we're going to be hitting the E string along with 2 and 2. Little bar right here. Kind of sounds like a minor major 7 chord, one of my favorites. D, E, D, E. Next we're going to be playing the D string along with 2 and 5. Low E string with 2 and 3. D string with 2 and 2. And then after this we're going to be playing the low E string along with 3 and 3. D, E, D, E. So that section will sound like this, starting off with the D string up here. Just keep pedaling those open strings. And then we're going to be doing the D string along with 5 and 3. And then the low E string here with 2 and 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that, the whole thing just starts over. So it's not a terribly challenging thing to put together there, as long as you can get the finger independence down. But the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys is, again, following that melody and making sure that you've got it either sitting on a downbeat or an upbeat. You know, that's going to determine if you play those notes with the low E string or if you play those notes with the D string. Let's play it through again, and this time I'm going to count through every beat on all the 8th notes so you can hear where these melodies are falling within each measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and yeah. So there you go, guys, some frightening fingerstyle action to get your Halloween season started off the right way. Be sure to stay tuned over here on my channel every single Friday this month for another spooktacular installment where we're going to be covering some other great classic horror movie theme songs that you can play on the guitar to make your Halloween season a little more festive. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more good stuff. And you can also go over to Facebook and like my new Facebook fan page over at facebook.com/UncleBenEller. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BenEllerGuitars. If you'd like to book some one-on-one Skype lessons with me, be sure to drop me an email, BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com. I'll hit you back and we'll talk about rates and times. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned next week for another sick horror classic. Cheers.